In recent years, China and the US have been locked in a battle for technological supremacy. Both countries are investing heavily in cutting-edge technologies such as artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and 5G. The stakes are high, as technological superiority can translate into economic and military dominance. In this documentary, we will explore the factors driving this competition, the areas where China and the US are competing, and the potential implications for the global order. China's rise as a technological powerhouse has been nothing short of remarkable. Over the past few decades, the country has transformed from an agrarian society into the world's second-largest economy. A key driver of this growth has been China's focus on technology. The government has invested heavily in research and development, and Chinese tech companies have flourished. One area where China has made significant progress is artificial intelligence, AI. Chinese companies such as Baidu, Alibaba, and Tencent have invested heavily in AI research and development. China has also created a favorable regulatory environment for the development of AI, with the government offering tax incentives and other forms of support. Another area where China is making strides is quantum computing. In 2020, a team of Chinese researchers claimed to have built the world's most powerful quantum computer. China is also investing heavily in quantum communication, which is believed to be impervious to hacking. Finally, China is leading the world in 5G technology. Chinese companies such as Huawei and ZTE are at the forefront of 5G development. China has also been aggressively promoting 5G technology to other countries as part of its Belt and Road Initiative. The US has long been a leader in technology, but in recent years, it has faced increasing competition from China. The US government has responded by ramping up investment in research and development. In 2021, President Biden signed a bill that allocated $250 billion for research and development over the next 5 years. The bill also included funding for key technologies such as AI, quantum computing, and 5G. The US government has also taken steps to restrict the access of Chinese companies to US technology. In 2019, the US government added Huawei to a blacklist, citing national security concerns. The move effectively banned US companies from selling technology to Huawei. The US has also restricted the export of certain technologies to China. The competition between China and the US is playing out in a number of areas. One key area is AI. Both countries are investing heavily in AI research and development, and both are working to create AI systems that can outperform human experts in a range of tasks. Another area of competition is quantum computing. Quantum computing has the potential to revolutionize a wide range of industries, from finance to healthcare. Both China and the US are working to build the world's most powerful quantum computer. Finally, 5G is another key area of competition. 5G has the potential to transform the way we live and work, enabling new applications such as autonomous vehicles and remote surgery. Both China and the US are vying to be the world leader in 5G technology. The battle for technological supremacy between China and the US has significant implications for the global order. If China were to emerge as the dominant technological power, it could challenge US economic and military dominance. This could lead to a shift in the balance of power, with China becoming the dominant superpower. On the other hand, if the US were to maintain its technological edge, it could preserve its position as the world's leading superpower. This could help to maintain the existing global order, which is based on US leadership. The competition between China and the US could also lead to a new Cold War. The two countries are increasingly viewing each other as strategic rivals, and tensions between the two nations are high. This could lead to a new era of global competition, with countries forced to choose sides in the battle between China and the US. Another potential implication of the competition between China and the US is the impact on global innovation. Both countries are investing heavily in research and development, and both are producing breakthroughs in key areas such as AI and quantum computing. However, the competition between the two countries could lead to a fragmentation of the global innovation ecosystem. If countries are forced to choose between Chinese and US technologies, it could lead to a balkanization of the global technology industry. Finally, the competition between China and the US could have implications for global governance. As the two countries become increasingly dominant in key technologies, they may seek to shape the rules and norms governing these technologies. This could lead to a new era of great power competition, with China and the US vying for influence in international institutions such as the United Nations and the World Trade Organization. Technological supremacy can have significant implications for a country's economic and military power. Countries that are leaders in key technologies such as AI, quantum computing, and 5G can gain a competitive advantage in a wide range of industries, from finance to healthcare. For example, AI has the potential to transform a wide range of industries. Companies that are leaders in AI research and development can gain a competitive advantage in areas such as financial services, logistics, and healthcare. In addition, countries that are leaders in AI can gain a strategic advantage in areas such as military technology. Similarly, quantum computing has the potential to revolutionize a wide range of industries. Companies that are leaders in quantum computing research and development can gain a competitive advantage in areas such as finance, materials science, and cryptography. In addition, countries that are leaders in quantum computing can gain a strategic advantage in areas such as military technology. Finally, 5G has the potential to transform the way we live and work, enabling new applications such as autonomous vehicles and remote surgery. Companies that are leaders in 5G technology can gain a competitive advantage in areas such as telecommunications and transportation. In addition, countries that are leaders in 5G technology can gain a strategic advantage in areas such as military technology. China has recognized the potential of technology to drive economic and military power, and the government has made technology a key focus of its development strategy. The country is investing heavily in key technologies such as AI, quantum computing, and 5G, and Chinese tech companies such as Huawei and Baidu are at the forefront of global innovation in these areas. The US has traditionally been a leader in technology, and the government is taking steps to maintain its position as a global technological superpower. The country is investing heavily in research and development, and US tech companies such as Google and Microsoft are leaders in key technologies such as AI and quantum computing. Implications for global trade. The battle for technological supremacy between China and the US is also having significant implications for global trade. As countries invest more in technology, they are increasingly seeking to protect their intellectual property rights. This has led to a rise in trade tensions between countries, particularly between the US and China. In 2018, the US imposed tariffs on Chinese goods, citing concerns about intellectual property theft. China responded with tariffs of its own, and the two countries have been locked in a trade war ever since. The trade tensions between the US and China are not just about trade, but also about technology. The US sees China's rise as a technological superpower as a threat to its own economic and military power, and is seeking to restrict China's access to key technologies. The implications of the US-China trade war are significant. The trade war has disrupted global supply chains, leading to higher prices for goods and reduced economic growth. It has also led to a fragmentation of the global economy, with countries forced to choose sides in the battle between China and the US. The implications of the US-China trade war are particularly significant for developing countries. Many developing countries rely on exports to China and the US, and the disruption to global trade caused by the trade war is having a significant impact on their economies. In addition, developing countries may find themselves caught between China and the US, forced to choose sides in the battle for technological supremacy. The role of international institutions. The battle for technological supremacy between China and the US is also having significant implications for international institutions. As the two countries become increasingly dominant in key technologies, they may seek to shape the rules and norms governing these technologies. For example, China is seeking to promote its own vision for global internet governance, which is based on the principle of national sovereignty. The US, on the other hand, is promoting a vision of a free and open internet. The two visions are fundamentally